We're going to solve one question by multiple ways if there are more than one way to solve the question. And let's just open all the questions that we're going to solve today. Third one, fourth one, fifth one, and eight. Okay. Sure. आठ क्वेश्चंस करेंगे हम लोग. We're going to solve it using MySQL. Questions सेम सीक्वेंस में करने वाले हैं, तो फिर मैं क्वेश्चंस की लिंक नहीं भेजूंगा. You guys will know what questions we're doing since I'm already going it in the sequence. Okay. All right. Sure. Let's get started. काम करता हूँ डिस्कॉर्ड पे सेंड कर देता हूँ अगर किसी को ओपन करना हो तो डिस्कॉर्ड पे नहीं तो आपको चैट विंडो पे सेंड करके रख देता हूँ. बेटर है जस्ट डू इट इन डिस्कॉर्ड. डिस्कॉर्ड में ये क्वेश्चन हम लोग सॉल्व कर रहे हैं. सबके लिंक्स में वहीं पे पेस्ट कर देता हूँ. ये सारे क्वेश्चंस के आंसर आपको याद हो जाने चाहिए. ठीक है. एज इन यू शुड literally remember each and every question and how to solve it without any doubts. Even whatever the multiple ways are there to solve them, you should be able to understand each and every. If you have to mug up, then do that. But extremely important that you have full understanding of these questions. These are all the questions that we are going to do. Let's see how far we can. Go ahead, read the question. All right. So the first question is pretty straightforward. It's 175 question number. Make sure you log in and select the language which is MySQL. Okay. Cool. So the question says we are given an SQL schema. Okay. So this is your SQL schema, which basically is having two tables. One is a person table and other one is an address table. All right. In person table, person ID is the primary key, and this primary key goes and matches with the person ID here in the address table. All right. So imagine these two tables connected to each other using this one particular key. All right. There are some extra things given here. Column with unique values, that's the primary key. Table contains information about ID and some person and the first name and all. Okay. 3 columns, person ID, last name, and first name. Then this has address, city, and state. All right. Now the question says you have to get a solution that reports first name, last name, city, and state of each person in the person table. If the address of the person ID is not present in the address table, report null. Okay, so the output schema should have the first name, last name, city, and state. But if city and state is unavailable, report null there. But everyone who is present in the table person should be returned here. Their first name, their last name, their city, and the state. Okay, since they are saying everyone in the person's table should be reported, it's a straightforward uh, question to solve. We are given a person table, that's the left side, and this is the right side. Okay, so we are left join, and the join key is going to be a person ID. And whatever after you join, you just select the last name, first name, the city, and the state. All right, so it's pretty straightforward. So all we have to do is select. Oh, so I'll just say select star for now. We'll focus on the join first. From person table, which is your left side. Okay, left join. Person table is left join with address table. Okay, how it is left join with on? It is left join on a one key, which is person dot person ID. You can just keep it all lowercase, that's fine too, is equal to address dot person ID. Okay, so this is the join key. You have to do left join here. Instead of selecting all the columns, you have to select person dot first name. Then you have to select person dot last name. Then you have to select address dot city. And then you have to select address dot state. Okay, so this is what the query should look like. There are no filters required here. It's fairly easy question to solve. You have to return the answer in any order. So order by is also not required. Make sure you read the question fully and what is required and give the answer accordingly. Okay, let's try to run this. Straightforward left join. Okay, so there's nothing complex here. You submit this and we should be good. Okay, what are these that are faster? That's all the same thing. Okay, let's move on. Second question, second highest salary in description. Okay, go ahead and read the question. All right, so the question says we have to find out what is the second highest salary. All right, second highest salary from which table? From your employee table. Okay, so employee table has ID and the salary, and you want to get what is the second highest salary. Find the second highest. Distinct salary is also given here. That means the second highest salary has to be distinct. If there are both the, if the table has only say one value for the salary, then you have to return null here. Okay, example is given here. So for example, these are the IDs and these are the salaries. So second highest is 200 here. Highest is 300. You have to return 200 here. All right. Second example that is given here. You're having this employee table which has only one entry in it, which is 100. So 100 is the maximum salary. Second highest salary is null because there is no second highest salary here. All right. So that is what we have to return. Okay. Let's assume you're given few numbers here. 1, 4, 5, 4, 8. Okay. So if I want to find the second highest number, what I can do is I can first find the highest number here. So highest number is 8. All right. After that, I take this 8 and I go in this and check all the values which are less than 8. So what are the values which are less than 8? 4 is less than 8, 5 is less than 8, and 4 is less than 8. Correct? First, what I do, I get the maximum value from that particular list. And after that, I go and check in that list what are the values which are smaller than the maximum value. So these are the values which are smaller than the maximum value. Okay. If I do max on this, okay, if I do max on that, I'll get 5. And 5 is nothing but your second highest value that is given there. So first find the maximum value. After that, find out what are the remaining values which are less than the maximum value. And what is the max of the remaining. That is going to give your answer. We're going to do the same thing when you do the SQL also. First, let's figure out what is the maximum salary. The maximum salary from your table, which is employee. Okay. So if you check what is the maximum salary in your table employee, then it should return you maximum salary. So here there are two test cases here. One is this and second one is this. So maximum salary for this one is going to be 300 and for this one it should return 100. Okay, let's try to run this and check if it does that or not. It will do that. Okay, so you'll get an output which is maximum salary of 300 for this table. For this table, we'll get a maximum salary of 100 for this table. Okay, now since we said that we want to do, we want to check the second highest salary, what we can do is now, okay, we want to find out all the salaries. Okay, for take इसके तरफ थोड़ा सा देखो ठीक से. We want to find out all the salaries which are less than. Okay, इसका आंसर जो भी आएगा, whatever the answer this is going to give you, my salary has to be less than that. Okay, the salary has to be less than that. From where I'm talking about, I'm again going to say select salary from employee table. Okay, take a close look at this. What are we doing? We're saying select the salary from the employee table where your salary is less than the maximum salary, so that we can get this particular list that we're trying to get. Let's try to find out what are those. Let's run this. So in the first case, we are going to get two salaries, 100 and 200. So the list that we have here is 100, 200, and 300. First, find out what is the maximum salary. 300 is the maximum salary. Remaining are 100 and 200. That's what you are getting here. 100 and 200 are remaining. How did you remaining that? So you said select salary from employee where salary is less than. This is important part. This is another query that we are having inside this. Okay, we're having this subquery, and we're trying to use the result of this subquery to come up with the dynamic filter here. Okay, this is used in many places, so make sure you understand this properly. Okay, so once we have this, we get all the salaries. Now all we have to do is just do a maximum of this. Get a maximum salary of this, and it should give you your answer. Correct? That's what we are talking about here, right? So iska maximum nikalo. That is going to give you second highest. Okay, and name it properly. They are saying to name it second highest salary here. So as, name it this. Give it a name. You can either write as, or you can just not write anything. That's fine too. Okay, अगर आप as नहीं लिखते हो तो automatically you assume कर लेता that it's a alias for that. So this is another name. If you don't do that, it will just come whatever the value is written there. So let's try to run this. So it will give you second highest salary as expected. Okay, this should work. So, all right, let's try to solve the same question using this concept of cross join, a Cartesian product. Okay, this cross join. We'll try to use this concept of cross join. Okay. This is table 1, this is table 2, and then you have a cross join table, which is basically all the combinations that you have. Okay, so the concept is really simple. You want to do a cross join of the table itself. Now we don't have two tables to do a cross join, but we can do a cross join with itself too, right? So what are we going to do here is imagine this case where you have this table 1. Okay, so I'm going to comment this for now. This is your table 1. Okay, I'm going to comment this one. This is your table 1. Let's call this a table 1. And this is your table 2. Okay, so let's call this as table 2. Just make this like this. Now what are we going to do? We are going to do a cross join. Since we are doing a cross join, what are we going to get in the result? We are going to get results which are like so. T1. I'm just going to write the IDs so that I don't have to worry about the salaries for now. Okay, or in fact let's just do it. ठीक है, इसका क्रॉस जॉइन क्या आता है? वो हम लोग चेक कर लेते हैं. We are basically going to get this 1 and 100 is going to match with this, and with this. Then 200 is going to match with this, and this. Okay, that's how cross joins basically work. Correct? So 1 is going to match with all of them and everything. So every row is getting matched with every row, and you get a cross join. The way you do that is by saying select star from cross join, or you can just say comma separated values. That's also going to give you the same thing. So let's do that. Select, I'll just say star for now. Okay, star from employee. That's my table 1. Let's call it table 1. Okay, cross join with the same table, employee, table 2. Let's see what we get here. It become fairly straightforward now. Okay, so this is your table 1 values, this is your table 2 values. Okay, they're not sorted, but anyways, it's just doing the cross join for now. So this is T1 and this is T2. All right, now what are we going to do is, let's figure out one thing. Let's figure out all the values which are, sorry, all the values in T2 which are smaller than T1. Okay, all the values in T2 which are smaller than T1. Again, all the values in T2 which are smaller than T1. You can do cross join like this, or you can also say this will also work by the way. If I just say comma, it will also give you almost same results. Okay, it will give you the same result. Either I can say comma, so sometimes you'll see that syntax, and sometimes you'll see this syntax. Both are correct. Both are going to give you same thing. Cross join बोल सकते हो या फिर सिर्फ comma बोल सकते हो. It will give you the same results by the way. Okay, so don't get confused when you see a comma there. I'll just keep it cross join for the sake of knowing what type of join we are doing. Okay, so select start. We got this start. Now what we are going to do is, let's try to figure out all the values where salary of T2 is less than T1 salary. Okay, this is T2 and this is T1. How many times in this table is the salary of T2 less than T1? Can you guys take a look at this table and let me know? Quickly. This is T2 salary. This is T1 salary. How many times is the T2 salary less than T1 salary? Compare and count. You all are able to see the screen, right? Vishal says 3 times. Okay, everyone's getting 3.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we are going to have it 3 times. Let's just put that filter where salary of T2 dot, or is salary of T2 dot salary is less than T1 dot salary. Okay, let's check that. So these are the 3 times when the salary of T2 is less than the T1 salary, which we got correctly 3 times. Now what is happening is, when we did this T2 salary less than T1, we actually removed the max salary from the T2. Okay, because max salary is never going to be less than T1's max salary. It will be equal, but it will never be less than that. Okay, if you remember, if you check that again, okay, T2 में max salary कहाँ पे? You can just check that. Okay, where's the max salary of T2? This is the max salary of T2. This is the max salary of T2. This is the max salary of T2. This will never get in your answer. This will never get in your answer because T2 has to be less than T1. T2 is not less than T1. T2 is not less than T1. T2 is not less than T1. It may be equal, but it never less than. Okay, this is my first thing that I have to filter out. So when we filter that out, we get 3. Now we can easily see that the max has been removed from here. If the max has been removed from here, that means we are having less than the max values here. All the values are less than the max values. We can just take a max of this and we can get the second hand salary here. Okay, so let's just do that. Max of T2 dot salary is nothing but your second hand salary. Okay, it's going to give you the same answer. It's going to be slower because we are doing cross join, and in cross join, it's going to take a lot of time because all you're doing is basically joining this with this, and you're exploding the table. Okay? So that's why it is slower than the earlier approach. But that is also one way of solving this question. And we are also using this concept of cross join there. Actually, जो nth has salary है, it requires a function. So we are skipping this one. Functions हमने पढ़े नहीं है. So I'll just skip this one for now. Okay, it will take time. Let's move on to, let me just write it in your Discord too. Okay, rank scores. Read this question. रैंकिंग फंक्शन यूज होने वाला है यहाँ पर, और हम लोग रैंकिंग फंक्शन के बारे में पढ़ेंगे. All right, let's learn about this window function concept in SQL. Okay. So the Windows functions are used in many places in SQL, especially for advanced data analysis and data management stuff. When you do the aggregate functions, the number of rows, or when you do the aggregate function, you get a summarized view of the data. Okay. Whereas Windows function, you're not going to get a summarized view, but you're going to get calculation of specific partition, as in specific window of your data. It will become very clear when we take a look at it. So let's take an example here. The example is, we are having a table. Let me zoom out a little bit. You can see the table at once. Okay, there you go. So we are having this table here. If you take a look at this table, it has 5 rows in there: Ramesh, Suresh, Ram, Deep, and Pradeep. Ages, department, and their salary. Okay, ages, department, and their salary. Okay, now we want to calculate, okay, average salary within each department. Okay, we want to calculate what is the average salary within each department. One way of doing that is just do a group by of that department and take an average salary. It will give you the answer. Okay, but what we want to do is, we want to get the average salary and put it into this one more column on the right side here. So there will be salary, and there will be average department salary. There will be salary of Suresh, and there will be average department salary. There will be salary of Ram, and there will be average department salary of Ram. Okay. So what we are trying to do here is, we are not trying to reduce the number of rows. Okay. When you do the aggregation, which is group by and then taking the average, the number of rows are going to get reduced to only 2 here, because there are 2 departments. But what we want to do is, we want to add one more column here called as average salary, and that average salary should be basically average of the salaries for that particular department. Okay. Ramesh belongs to finance department, so what is the average salary of finance department? Suresh department belongs to a finance department. What is the average salary of finance department? Now this grouping over this particular department is also optional. You don't have to give it always. Okay, but just for sake of simplicity, let's say we want to get department wise what is the average salary and add it to another column. So this is the expected output. Number of rows are not changing here because we are not adding any filters. Okay, what we are saying is Ramesh, his salary and what is the average salary of the department. Suresh, his salary and what is the average salary of the department. Ram, his salary and what is the average salary of the department. Okay, the way we achieve this is by something called as a window function, or specifically aggregate window function that we have here. Okay, take a close look at this particular syntax here. The syntax will look confusing for now, but we have seen average salary till now. Okay, we have seen what is average, in bracket you just give salary and that is going to give an average salary when you do a group by. Okay, or even if you don't do a group by, you can still get an average salary. Okay, now because we don't want to reduce the number of rows here and anything, we're going to use a window function which is used by using something called as over a particular window. Okay, over a particular window. By default, the window is basically the full table. Okay, by default, the window is basically the full table. But if you want to give window depending on a particular group, you can just say partition by department. The way what we are trying to do is we are trying to do a group by, but instead of saying group by, you're saying going to say partition by. Okay, over the whole table, but this full table is actually partitioned on the department. So what it does is it goes and takes the names first, age, department, and salary. Okay, it got the 4 rows here, 4 columns. When it comes to average salary, the last one, it will go and take the average salary, but the average salary is actually over a particular window, and that window here is partitioned by department. So the table is partitioned by the department. So for the finance department, 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 department. Okay, so go to department, get all the rows for department, find out what is the average salary, and put it into a column. Take a close look at this and let me know if you have any questions. These are the aggregate functions of windows. You can say sum, you can say average, you can say count, maximum, minimum. Average salary over a particular window. By default, the window is the whole table, but we have to partition that window by department. Okay, जो ग्रुप बाय में लिखते थे उसके जगह पार्टीशन बाय करना. Now these are aggregate window function. Similar to this, there is something called as a ranking window function. Okay, and these ranking window functions are going to give you some kind of a rank or some kind of ranking. If you want to give a partition, you can do by partition. If you don't want to do by partition, it's fine. Okay, so all it does is it has 2 or 3 main functions. So first function is a rank function. It assigns rank to the rows within a partition. Okay, rank, and because we're talking about rank, you have to tell rank order by what to use for ranking. Should it use salary for ranking? Should it use name for ranking? Should it use anything else for ranking? Okay, everything else remains the same. Only thing changed here is instead of having an aggregate function, you are using a rank function, which is a ranking window function over a particular table, over the full table for now. All right, that's fine. But I want to partition it by department. So within the department, I want the ranks. How do I rank them? I rank them by using salary in the descending order. Partition by department. Order by salary in the descending order. Okay, because this is rank, what it will do is it will pick the next, if the values are same, then it will give you same rank to both of them. Now because there are two rows already gone here, rank 2 is also gone. You directly jump to rank 3. Okay, because this is not a dense rank, this is just a rank. Okay, the next rank will be skipped. If there are shared ranks, if there's shared ranks, then the next rank is skipped and you go on to the next rank. This is only for the financial department, finance department. Sales department will have its own ranking. DP is having rank 1 based on the salary. Pradeep is having rank 2 based on the salary. Sales department has this rank. Finance department has this rank. Take a close look at this particular query too. Window function, which is a ranking window function over a particular window. Partition it by the department. Order by salary in the descending order. You'll get this now that I'm talking about it. You'll be able to understand it, but you will have to revisit the recordings later. I'll upload the recordings and then just can revisit them again. All right, so this is a rank function. Similar to this, there's something called as a dense rank. The difference between rank and dense rank is you don't skip the numbers here. You get after 1, you'll get a 2 instead of going to 3. That's the main difference between rank and dense rank. Okay, for the next rank, two same ranks, consecutive rank integer is used, no ranking is skipped. Dense rank, densely populated rank. Okay. Next is row number. All right, row number is basically giving row numbers 1, 2, 3. Again, you can give order by. Here, if the values are same, they'll still get a different row number because by default they're having a different row number. Okay, so you can assume this as a normal ranking that is happening. Even if they are same values, they'll not get the same rank, or they'll not get the same row number because they are different two different rows. Okay, row number over a particular table or a window, partitioned by department, ordered by salary in the descending order. And that is what is given here. Okay, first get the row number. Okay, row number over what? Over the window. What window? The window is partitioned by department. Okay, let's get the department finance. Finance department sorted by the salary in the descending order 50, 50, 20. Sorted. Now give them the row number 1, 2, and 3. Okay, that's all it is doing. So group is called as a partition. Right? Now let's go and check this question that we're trying to solve. If you read the question, this question is straightforward coming from the rank or window function that needs to be used here. Write a function or write a solution to find rank of the scores. The ranking should be calculated according to the following rules. The score should be ranked from highest to lowest. सबसे पहले ranking करना है from highest to lowest. Okay. If there's a tie between two scores, both should have same ranking. After a tie, the next number should be the next consecutive integer value. In other words, there should be no holes in the ranking. मतलब क्या चल रहा है यहाँ पे? What exactly are they looking for? They're looking for a dense rank. Correct? They're looking for a dense rank. First, take the whole table. There is no need of partition here because we are not going to partition anything. We are just going to order by the scores and then give the ranking. Let's try to write it first. Okay, we'll write all different cases and then see how it goes. Okay? Select, let's say ID, score. I'll keep the score as is. Okay. Next thing what we want to do is we want to get a rank. So first we'll do a rank function. Rank over. Okay. over the window. Now we want to order by. Okay, partition nahi karna hai, so we don't require partition, so partition is skipped. Order by. What are they saying? Order by the score. Okay. How do you want to order by the score? You want to order the scores in the descending order. So that highest score should get the higher rank, lower rank. Okay, order by descending. That's one. Okay. Now let's try to get a dense rank here for the same thing. Let's try to get a dense rank. This is the dense rank. Now let's try to get a row number. We'll get all three for this. And we'll be able to see what are the differences and everything. Row number. Okay. From scores table, let's run this and see what are we getting. Okay. Let's rename this so that we can use them properly. This is rank. This is dense rank. This is row number. Okay. Why I put them in double quotes? Because they are keywords here in the SQL too. Okay. So what are we getting here? First thing that we do is your ID and your score are kept as is. We are not changing those two columns. So ID and score are coming back as is. Only thing is they're sorted in a certain fashion. They're sorted in the descending order of the score. If you take a look at this, okay, they're sorted in the descending order of the scores, and that is because of this window function that we have here. All right. Next, what we do is first check the rank function that we have. So rank function, what is going to do? Because these two are having same score, they'll get same rank. Because this is rank function, there's going to be a whole year. So you'll go to 3 directly. Then you'll get 4 and you'll get 4 here again because both are having same values. Then you're going to have another whole and you'll get a 6 here. Dense rank is going to give same ranking for equal numbers, and if there is a hole, it is not going to, it's going to fill that hole by next number directly. So this is what dense ranking does. Row number is just going to give the row number to each and every one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Only thing is it is in the descending order of the score. All right, let's take a look at this and let me know if you have any questions. So we did rank, dense rank, and row number, all of them on the same table. We didn't give any partition here because we don't require to do a partition because there's no column that we are asked to do a partition on. But there's a column which requires to be ordered by. We're doing the order by here. Take a look and let me know if you have any questions. All right. Now that we know we are more interested in the dense rank, let's just remove it. Remove this. Remove this. We are interested in the dense rank, and the expected here is that we should name it as a rank here. So let's just do that. We don't need ID and score here. I guess we need score. Score is required. ID is not required. Let's just run this. It should be accepted here. When we submit, it should get accepted again. Okay. Let's try to check other solutions. Yeah. So dense rank over. Most of them are going to do the same solution. So yeah. Okay. You don't have to do this order by the way, because this is not required. if you give the order by here directly, this is not basically required. Anyways, let's move on. Consecutive numbers. So the question says we are giving a log table, and this log table has two columns, ID and num. And we want to find out number of times or the numbers which are consecutively repeating three times. So this one is present in the log once, twice, and three times. Okay. Consecutively next to each other. They're ordered by this ID that is given to you. Okay. Then you have this two. Then you have this one. But there's no two consecutive. Then you have your two here. Then you have your two here. Now this two and these two are same, but they're not consecutive. There's a gap here. Okay. So we want to find out what are the consecutive numbers. All right. Consecutive numbers, find out करना. One of the most simplest solution here is basically going to be your Cartesian products. Okay. What we can do is we can basically do Cartesian product of this log table with itself three times. Okay. So let's say I want to find out what are the consecutive of these two. So let's put them side by side here. I'll just show you what is the Cartesian product output of that first. Select star from logs as L1. That's the first table. Cross join. Either I can say cross join or I can just say comma and just do it. Okay. Logs L2. Let's see what it gives you. Okay. It will give you a big table nonetheless, but let's just see what it gives you. Okay. So this is my L1. This is my L2. So these two belong to L2 and these two belong to L1. All right. Now, what I have to do is consecutive means first thing is the ID has to be plus 1. So L2's ID has to be plus 1 of L1 ID. How many times is the L2 ID plus 1 of L1 ID? So let's go one by one here. Okay. This is 1. So this is 1 and this is another. So L1 ID is 1 and L2 ID is plus 1 of L1. That's one. Second is this. Okay. Third one is this. Okay, what I want to do is I want to put consecutive numbers next to each other. That's why I'm checking that. So let's put that filter where L1 dot ID is equal to L2 dot ID plus 1. Okay, how many times is that happening? Let's take a look at it now. We're going to get this. Okay, so sorry, ulta ho gaya. So we said L2 is more greater than L1, right? So L2 का ID 1 से बड़ा है. That's what we want. Okay, yeah. So this L1 ID and this is L2 ID. That's what the consecutive numbers are, right? So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take this and put it side by side. Take this and put it side by side. Take this and put it on the side of this. Take this and put it on the side of this. Take this and put it on the side of this. Take this value and put it on the side of this value. That is what I'm trying to do here, right? So ये 1 1 और ये 2 1. side by side. ये 2 1 और ये 3 1 side by side. Correct? ये 2 1 and 3 1 side by side. I'm putting them. All right. Second condition for things to be consecutive is the number should be equal. So num1 has to be L1 num has to be equal to L2 num. Okay. And L1 dot num is equal to L2 dot num. That's the second condition for two numbers to be consecutive. This both has to be consecutive. Then I put them side by side. I check their ID is greater, one is greater than that, and that should give me all the numbers which are consecutive 2 times, not 3 times this here. The question is asking for 3 times, but this is going to give you for 2 times for now. Okay, so 2 times, how many times it is happening? So this is repeating 2 times. After that, these two are repeating 2 times. After that, these two are repeating 2 times consecutive. So you got 3 rows here directly. 6 and 7, these two, 2 3 and 1 2. Okay, so these are the 3 rows that are repeating consecutive times. Now this works for the consecutive 2 times, so this will also work from consecutive 3 times. Let's just do a cross join logs L3 now. Okay, only thing that we change is the constraints now. Okay, this is one constraint that we have for consecutive. Okay, add some more constraints now. And when we do consecutive things, 3 times consecutive, then we want to say this is 2 times of L1, or this is L2 plus 1. Okay, I want to put this 3 next to each other, right? So what I have to do is L2 dot ID plus 1 is equal to L3 dot ID, and L2 dot num is equal to L3 dot num. Okay, we didn't do anything, we just expanded it to three tables. Okay, it'll be slower, but we get 3 next to next. So this one is from L1, this is from L2, and this is from L3. All the conditions are matching here. L1 plus 1 is equal to L2. L1 plus 1 is equal to L2 ID. L2 plus 1 plus 1 is equal to L3 ID. That is what is matching here. The numbers has to be same. All the numbers has to be same. That is what the consecutive numbers are. And we don't require everything. We can just take any number from here. So select any number. So let's just take L1 dot num as consecutive numbers. So that is what we need. Okay. When we run this, it's going to give you the answer for now. Now, if you check this particular question, this says find all numbers that appear at least 3 times consecutively. Return table in any order. So order is not required, but they're saying get all the tables, all the numbers. So they want to get all the numbers. So when we run this, it's going to give you an error. It's saying that it's going to fail because you're returning this 2 times, because this is going to get flagged, and then again this is going to get flagged. Okay, so you have to do a distinct here, because that will give you the distinct numbers that you need. Okay, so distinct L1 dot consecutive numbers, so that you get the consecutive numbers. Should work. Okay, that's the cross join way of doing it. Now let's learn a concept called as lead, which is again kind of a window function. Lead and lag. All the answers are provided in that in this particular Google Doc. Third tab is basically the link to the answer. You click on that, it will take you the answer. Okay. So SQL lead is a window function again, which provides access to the row at a specified physical offset. ऑफसेट का मतलब होता है फिस्पेट आफ्टर अ सर्टेन रोज, एक रो के बाद में, दो रो के बाद में, तीन रो के बाद में, समथिंग लाइक दैट. Okay, so what it says is, let's take this example. Let's take this simpler example. Okay, so here, forget about this last column for now. Okay, forget about this last column. First name, last name, and hire date. These are the three columns that are given to you. Okay, first name, last name, and the hire date. Now we want to get, if this is the first name, this is the last name, and this is the hire date, who was the person that was hired after this person? Who was the person that was hired after this person, or what is the hiring date of the next hired person? So basically what I'm to do is, when I'm on this particular row, I want to look few rows ahead. How many rows ahead? I want to look only one row ahead for now. So offset in this case is 1. I want to look one row ahead and get the higher date. That is going to get my column here. How do I do that? By using something called as a lead. Give me a lead on higher date. Give me a lead on higher date. ओके, हायर डेट के ऊपर लीड दो, नेक्स्ट वैल्यू चाहिए मुझे, लीडिंग वैल्यू. लीडिंग वैल्यू, लैगिंग वैल्यू का मतलब होता है प्रीवियस वैल्यू. लीडिंग वैल्यू मींस नेक्स्ट वैल्यू, लैगिंग मींस प्रीवियस वैल्यू. So I want a leading value for my higher date. By how much? By 1. Okay, by an offset of 1 over a window of whole table. No need of partitioning, but order it by the higher date. Okay, but order it by the higher date. That is how the lag function, lead function works. Similar to this, there is something called as a lag function also, which will work, which will give you the previous value. Okay, so this is the lead function. Similar to this, there's a lag function also. It will give you the same kind of a thing, but it will give you previous value. Remember the syntax: lead, column name, and what is the offset. If I want to check two people after next to next hired, then the offset should be 2 here. You want to get next to next to next hired, then the offset should be 3 here. How do we use this information in this particular example? If you take a look at this particular table, all we are trying to do is, we are trying to, when we are in this row, we are trying to check what is the value of next and what is the value of next. Okay, if we do a lag 1 and then do a lag 2, and if both of them are matching, then that should give me the answer. So let's try to do that and see how it works. So select, I'll say id num. Okay, and what are we trying to do is, let's do a lead. No, I said lag, but mistakenly I should do a lead. Lead on num. Offset should be 1. Let me call it as a lead 1. Okay, and second is lead num. Offset would be 2. This is my lead 2. One thing that is missing here, I want to do an over a particular window. Okay, because this is over a particular window. Okay. What should be the window? The whole table. What should be the order in which I want to do it? Order by ID. Order by ID. Okay. From logs table. Okay. Let's try to run this and we'll be able to see them side by side now. So this is my lead 1 value, lead 1 value, lead 2 value. Okay, for this particular row. For this particular row, what is my lead 1 value? This value is my lead 1 value. What is my lead 1 value? Lead 2 value. This value is my lead 2 value. For this particular row, lead 1 value is 1 next to it, and lead 2 value is 2. Okay. All we have to check now is lead 1 is equal to num is equal to lead 2. If these three are equal, then we got the answer. If these two are not equal, then we don't. That means they are not consecutive. Okay, that means they are not consecutive. Correct? Make sense? Yes, no? So let's do one thing. Let's put the whole thing into one table now. So let's call this whole thing as a table. So this is called as a relation. That's it. I call this whole thing as a table. I want to select start. Let's start from. This is my table that I want to select from. Okay, the select statement itself has become a table now. Okay, the select statement itself has become a table. I want to select star from this particular table. If I run, you'll get the same answer, by the way. There's no change here. But what I want to do is I want to add a filter now where T1 dot, okay, the select that I did, it is going to have T1 now, right? T is the name. Where T1 dot num is equal to T1 dot lead 1 and T1 dot lead 1 is equal to T1 dot lead 2. How many times is this happening? Let's try to run this and check. So this is happening only one time here in this particular example. That is basically any number that you get. So instead of saying select start, we can just say select num. Okay, and give you the answer. And we want to call it as a consecutive number here. As consecutive number. The problem here again is the same one, which is the distinct. You have to do a distinct. Let's just run it for now and forget about the distinct for some time. Okay, and just submit it. It will give you the same error of the distinct. Fail for the same condition because we need to get a distinct value here. Okay. Now here, one thing that you'll notice, if we didn't check for the IDs here, ID plus 1, ID plus 2, we didn't check that. Why didn't we check that? Is because this order by is taking care of it already. Okay, this order by is already taking care of it. So we don't have to check ID 1 plus 1 is equal to ID 2. Okay, and so on. All right, so this is going to be a homework for you. Customers who never order. Okay, make sure you solve this. I'm going to flag it as homework. Customers who never order. This is homework. Department higher salary. It will take some time to talk to the salaries. All right, so let's stop here for now. And in next session, we'll continue our discussion on this. We'll cover a few more questions, but make sure you practice, go through all the questions that I discussed today. I'll share the recording in the morning. All right. Bye, everyone. Any question that should go in the recording?